I don't need to go on a tangent about how bad Cyberpunk 2077 was at launch. I played it on PlayStation 4 and the game could barely keep itself together. But where Cyberpunk is now, it is completely flipped itself on the head in a very, very good way. Of course, I've had multiple videos talking about Cyberpunk and my time with the game because I've always just believed that this game will get better and that this game was going to hit the heights that it should have hit when it came out. Now, it's very clear that CD Projekt Red are not focusing on the past gen consoles like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, because this new 2.0 update that really changes the game for the better is only on the current gen consoles, Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. And I really enjoy this update. This is my first impressions on the update, and it really does change the game for the better. Now, if you're an existing player or somebody that's beaten the game like me, and you're coming back to Cyberpunk 2077, the best way to go about this 2.0 update is actually to restart. I know it kind of sounds crazy, especially if you haven't beaten the game yet, but if you restart, you just get a fresh take on the game and a fresh look into all the systems and everything like that. So what I did is, yes, I beaten the game and my first build was like a gunslinger, but I went ahead, made a new character, and I jumped in and I wanted to do more of like a samurai build. And with the new perk tree, it's so much easier to start your build and see it flourish in the beginning of the game. What I really like about this perk tree now is that it's easier to start to see where your build is at, or it's easier to start to see your build in general. Before, you would have to wait until like level 30 and then you would kind of see your build kind of come to fruition. Especially for people that are existing players, you can jump into this and you will see your brand new build come to fruition a lot sooner. So for me, I went from like a gunslinger, but then I restarted and I wanted to be more of like a samurai build that used bladed melee weapons and things like that. When I did that, there's new skills at my disposal, like how I can block bullets with a samurai sword, which is just so Cyberpunk. It's so cool to see this happen. You can see it on the screen right now. It's so cool. And the sword play in this game is just amazing. But I was able to see that earlier in the game, and I think it's just, it's so much better to restart in this 2.0 update and just play with the new systems that Cyberpunk has. So this new perk tree, it adds new skills. It's easier to jump into your own build or your new build and get going, and it makes the game so much more engaging, so much more fun, and the overall approach to your build now is just way more refreshing. A lot of people wanted a massive update in terms of policing in Cyberpunk 2077, and this 2.0 update definitely does that. Before, they did some updates here and there and it just wasn't doing it for people, especially at launch. It was just so weird. But this adds in a whole bunch of police officers. It also adds in a brand new policing system, and it has kind of tiers in kind of like GTA a little bit. But you can run, if you like literally run into a police officer, you're gonna have NCPD all over you, and it just adds another layer of realism, and it makes the world in Cyberpunk feel a lot more alive. I haven't really dived too deep into the policing. I'm not really crazy about shooting up the whole city and things like that and having the police all up on me, but I've noticed it because I've ran my car into a police officer's car and I had them on me. You can invade them just like in GTA, stuff like that. So if you're into things like that, I think there is enough here for you. Another thing that got a massive update was vehicle combat. You're able to actually shoot your weapon out of the vehicle. This is something else I haven't went too hard in, but what's really cool is the fact that you can have a samurai sword while riding on a bike. This is so cool, and it's aesthetically pleasing. I mean, oh my goodness, it looks so cool how you can just have your own little bike and you have your samurai sword or whatever just whipped out and ready to cut somebody's head off. It looks so cool. It looks so Cyberpunk, especially with the city in the background. It looks so cool. I haven't, like I said, I haven't went too crazy on the vehicle combat, but this is still so cool, especially when you do missions or you just want to kind of drive around and just shoot everybody up and just do your, you know, assaults in progress and things like that. You're gonna be able to do it straight from the car. So this is a really good update, and this is something that everybody else really wanted to be updated in the game. So the 2.0 killed it with this. Cyberware also got a massive update. Now you have a limit to how much cyberware that you can have on you. Of course, as you level up, that will change, and there's also abilities you can add to your character that will make it increase. But now you don't have to worry about having, you know, clothing that puts your armor rating up. It's more about your cyberware and what you use, and also upgrading your cyberware. So that means on the flip side, all of the cosmetic things and all the clothing that you wear, all that doesn't affect your armor rating necessarily. It has little buffs here and there, but you can wear anything you want. You can buy any clothing and it will not affect your character at all. It might, like I said, it might have a little buff here and there, but it's not going to affect it to the point you're like, okay, well, I need to wear this jacket for my armor rating. No, this is more about cyberware. Overall, I think this is as good as Cyberpunk is going to get, and this is not a bad thing. I think this game has peaked. I think it is still a wonderful game to go through. It has great characters, it has great gameplay. The systems have all been updated. They are all really, really good. And especially if you're a new player, this is the time. This is the time to jump in. I actually think last year was a good time to jump in. This year, with the 2.0 update, it is definitely the time, especially if you've been holding out. This is definitely the time to play Cyberpunk 2077 and even get the new expansion, Phantom Liberty. I haven't really played it yet. I heard great things. I'm probably going to do a first impressions on it, but everything overall, I love Cyberpunk 2077. It's gotten me off of Starfield, and I'm all in. I'm all back in Cyberpunk 2077. So the 2.0 update is wonderful. Go ahead, hop in. It's free to update it if you have the game already, and it's just a really great update, and it's something that the game really needed. And I feel like this is kind of what the developers wanted the game to be like in the beginning, but we got it now. So my name is Curtis from the Seoul Dojo gaming channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and you can follow me on Twitter at Cali from the Dojo, and I'll check you guys later. All right, peace.
Get your point across, get your point across. Get your point across, get your point across.